I want to just quickly say my voice does not get better, so feel free to click off if you don't like this voice. And also, my sources for this are Wikipedia and Google. So take everything in this video with a grain of salt, because it may be incorrect. On the 26th of February 1815, Napoleon Bonaparte escaped exile alongside 1,000 men. This included 600 of his Imperial Guard, 100 Polish lancers, 300 Corsican volunteers, and others. He waited for his British Guard, Sir Neil Campbell, to leave the island. He then waited for the patrol ships to be out of sight, along with disguising a brig to look like an English vessel. After landing in March, Napoleon began to retake control over France, with thousands of men defecting to join him. In response to Napoleon's return to power, the nations of Britain, Russia, Prussia, and Austria all declared war on Napoleon and began mobilising, aiming to overthrow Napoleon again and restore the Bourbon monarchy. Napoleon planned to attack the British and Prussian armies stationed in Belgium. He would then divide the armies and knock out the Prussians, then turning on the British and crushing them. On the 16th of June, while at the Duchess of Richmond's ball, Wellington heard about Napoleon's advance. He advanced his army to Quatre Bras, with the Prince of Orange and Prince Bernard leading the defence against Ney's left wing. At the Battle of Quatre Bras, Anglo-Dutch forces under the Prince of Orange faced off against the French army under Michel Ney. The British were attempting to reinforce the Prussians at Ligny, although this was prevented by the French. However, during the battle, the Prince of Orange was hit in the shoulder. Another notable commander was the Duke of Brunswick, who was shot in the liver and killed in action. With the battle ending in a stalemate, Ney halted Wellington's advance to meet with Blucher, but Wellington also halted Ney's advance to take the crossroads. Wellington wasted no time in reinforcing his position at Waterloo. He fortified the positions of Hougoumont, La Haye-Sainte, and Papelotte, which was being defended by Wellington's Nassau allies. Napoleon chose to delay the attack to let the mud dry, finally ordering the assault at 1100. The attack on Hougoumont began at 11:30, although this is disputed. Time and time again, the French would assault the British position at Hougoumont, and time again, the British would repulse them, with Hougoumont ultimately holding out until the end of the battle. Meanwhile, at 11:50, Napoleon's Grand Battery opened fire upon the British ranks with 80 guns. Despite providing some support, it was too far away to be accurate. At 13:15, Napoleon spotted the first Prussian troops, around 3 hours from his position. Just after 1300, the first French assault began, with many other divisions soon joining. They encircled La Haye-Sainte and began to close in. Defended by the valiant King's German Legion, La Haye-Sainte would hold out until 1600. The French would also assault Wellington's left flank, resulting in a counterattack by General Thomas Picton. At the same time, the Earl of Uxbridge ordered 2 heavy cavalry brigades to assault the French. However, they were pushed too far, and the charge would end in catastrophe. Marshal Ney, believing that Wellington was retreating, ordered a massive cavalry charge. However, when they found the British formed up in squares, all they could do was circle them helplessly. Following another French assault, the Prussians began arriving onto the battlefield. At 1630, the Prussians attacked and captured Plancenoit. In a last-ditch effort, Napoleon deployed the Imperial Guard at 1930, but even they failed to break the British line. After the assault failed, the French army soon began to rout, and after some additional fighting, the battle had concluded. The largest battle of the Napoleonic Wars had ended in a victory for Wellington. 20 years of war in Europe had finally concluded.